There we go.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, these places, these sacred spaces are contested spaces, right? We have Hindus on one side, Muslims on the other, contesting over the sacredness of the same place. So my question to you is, do you think there can be any reconcile where the sacred space can be shared by both Hindus and Muslims? Or do you think that only Hindus get the right to the space?
Reconciliation means that you follow a doctrine of tolerance and accommodation. Now, for those who say that everything is false except Islam or the sayings of Muhammad, there can be no reconciliation. So, for reconciliation, you have to arrive at a point at which India arrived thousands of years ago, that the divine can be worshipped either in form or without form.
It could be Allah also if you want.
Certainly Allah, the divine can have not one but many names. And so Allah can be one name and Khuda can be another. And Jesus, of course Jesus is Son of God, but then Jesus' Father can be another, and Yahweh can be another, and Buddha can be third, and Shiva, and etc., etc. So that is something which is recognized as the path to be followed in India. Not recently, but for several thousands of years. We have Vedic verses which would say that all these manifestations or shapes and sizes represent the same truth. But reconciliation can come when you recognize a very significant philosophic doctrine or way of thinking. And that is when you do not separate the creator from creation. You see, according to Vedanta, according to Indian, not just Vedanta, but according to several Indian systems of Nyaya or Sankhya, etc.
But also the Sufis also.
No,
That branch of-
Sufis is different. I'll talk about them. You can ask me a question. The idea that creation is not different from the creator, or the creator is not different from creation, this has to be understood. In all Indian philosophies, creation is part of the creator. Creator is just another manifestation of creation, is another manifestation of the creator. Whereas Christianity and Islam do not accord the same status to creation. For them, creation is distinct from the creator.
But there is some union you can arrive in. There is a kind of union that you can arrive, a union of
in
merging
Hinduism.
but in Sufism and mysticism also.
In which?
Sufism and
Look, about Sufism, there is a lot of confusion. Sufi thought is fundamentally Neoplatonist thought. You know, the founder of Neoplatonism,
Plutonos, yes.
Plotinus believed that there is one reality, and that one reality acquires different grades of manifestation. So Plotinus probably was connected to Indian thought.
That hierarchical view of the cosmos is very similar
Right.
to Samkhya philosophy.
So it's a let us say a corollary or something similar to the Indian thought, that the creator and the creation are not two. Now this is Plotonos. When philosophers who believed in the Neoplatonic tradition became Muslims, then they were called Sufis. Practically speaking, all Sufis follow Sharia.
Right.
The law they follow is Sharia. But the philosophy they follow is Neoplatonist, is or that of Plotonos. The traditional theologians of Islam will not admit that the creator and the creation can be one.
Right, because there's dualism inherent in their system.
Yeah.
Right.
So Sufis are split between Islam and Platonic philosophy, Neoplatonic philosophy. And most of the Sufis themselves do not believe that the creator is the same as creation, or that the individual is the same as the creator. The Khuda or the Allah is not the Banda or the individual. So Sufis are somewhere in between Neoplatonism and a refurbishing of it by Islamic duality. So Sufis, I don't think, should be credited with Greek or Hindu thought. They are closer in some respect, but practically speaking they are distinct. They are all followers of Sharia, and therefore, according to Sharia, they cannot practice what unity is prescribed by Greek thought or by Hindu thought.
So you're saying that because of differences in philosophy, in Islamic philosophy and Hindu philosophy, that a kind of shared sacred space would never be possible. Because
Sacred?
a sacred space, a shared sacred space.
Sacred space?
Like the Babri Masjid site.
No, according to Islamic thought, there is no sacred space.
Well, that's
Because there is no sacred creation.
So there's no way that those two traditions can ever
No,
share.
a masjid is only a place where you worship Allah. It is not a place. It is not a place of Allah.
Right.
No, nothing in this world which is material creation can be sacred. Because the sacred is only beyond this world.
And in the Hindu tradition, you have various concepts about sacred space. In Islam, you don't have there is only one concept, and that nothing is sacred.
Right.
Nothing created is sacred. And it's an unforgivable sin to think that it is.
That's why a masjid can always be broken, replaced, transferred, because it is only a location for namaz. It is nothing more than a location. This is a fundamental understanding. Whereas a Greek temple or a Celtic temple is a sacred space. It may not be a temple, it may be a mountain. A mountain or a river. That's why the whole idea of Ganga as mother, Saraswati as mother, Narmada or rivers, and similarly in the Greek world, the tree and the stone and the river, they were all sacred and holy, and they all had their daimon.
And
Daimon.
And even
spirit.
in China also, In China also, so it's interesting. There's three ancient.
In what?
China.
China. Yes,
ancient
of
China.
course.
So ancient Greek, ancient
Yes.
China, ancient India.
China and all other cultures like American Indian and South American, they all believed in the sacredness of this universe.
And the way
Material.
the way the American government took over the Indian tribes was by taking their sacred space. Like, there's this mountain, and they go, okay, you can have the rest of your land, but we need that mountain. And they would take it. Then there was a valley that was sacred. And they said, okay, you can have the rest of your land, but we need that valley. And little by little, they would take away their sacred spots, and it destroyed their culture.
This was.
Yeah.
So I think Hindus are the only people who are fighting it with very great clarity of thought. Absolute clarity of thought, that it is a different way of thinking,
Yeah.
and hence practice.
Yeah.
And that does not limit itself to India. That thinking is beyond India. And it is a thinking which is shared by all the non-Abrahamics, by the Shintos, by the...
Indigenous people all over the world.
And yes,
Yeah.
people living in the forests of Africa or other regions, they all believe that a tree is sacred.
Yeah.
And in India, people still believe in it. This morning, just half a kilometer away, I saw a very modern Indian worshipping a tree. You know, he had hugged the tree, he had put his head onto the tree,
Yeah.
and was standing there for at least 20 minutes and
Chanting.
murmuring something.
Something, yeah.
So it is worshipping.
I mean,
What else is worship?
Yeah. Nice.
बहुत सुंदर.
Okay, Ji, thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much.
Jai Sri Ram.
सीताराम.